And while the music playing too, I'll be sharing the show out. Hold on, let me see. Make sure we good on good on the YouTube thing. Hold on. Yep. All right, we good. We'll be back in just a moment. All right. Welcome back to the Warrior Scholar Show, right? Let's give ourselves a hand real quick. All right. We got a special guest in the building, but first I go by Kofi. Piesie. I am a modern day griot, an author, a publisher, a writer, entrepreneur, amongst other things, right? And the first guest that we got up on this long list of powerful heavy hitters for Black History Month is my brother, Obawajumi. Welcome to Warrior Scholar Show. Can you please introduce yourself briefly?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Kofi. My name is Obawajumi Owolafia from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I am an Asafo, an African warrior scholar, father, and a proud member of Team RBG, in addition to being the um, special counsel, advisor, and manager of the one true king himself, Stig Stigalo, the artist out of Rochester, New York, aka The Rock. Definitely happy to be here, and to be a guest of the Warrior Scholars series. Thanks. I mean, it's been a minute. It's been a minute, so definitely.
Definitely, man. We appreciate you. I appreciate you for having you on, man. Everybody out there, just in the chat, please like and share the show. Share the show with those you think that may appreciate uh, what we may have to talk about and discuss today. Don't send it to nobody you know that's not going to appreciate it. So send it to those who may appreciate this discussion that me and the barber is about to have today. Again, this is Warrior Scholars, um, a show I created a few years ago. Took a break and always came back when Obafemi always asked me. Last year they released a tape, MCE. I put we came back on the team RBG. We came back on, and through that interview, it reignited the Warrior Scholar Show. So Obawajumi is the first guest back with the relaunch of the Warrior Scholar Show, right? So again, y'all, please like and share the show with those um, who may appreciate and receive this discussion. Um, and before we get into it, I always want to break down what a Warrior Scholar Show is before we get into the interview, right? Let me pull this up on the screen real quick so everybody else can read with me. Um, let's go here. So a Warrior Scholar. Now these are simple definitions, and then what I believe what a Warrior Scholar is again, because this is the Warrior Scholar Show, right? So just a simple definition. Warrior is from the old French warrior, French guru, warrior, soldier, combat, one who wages war. Warrior, wage war, from wara. Warrior, a person who engaged and experienced in warfare boldly. A person engaged in some struggle or conflict, right? A person who had done advanced study in special fields. Three, a holder of a scholarship. Now, with scholars, excuse me, scholars, a person who attends a school or study under a teacher, a pupil. Two, a person who has done advanced studies in special fields. Three, a learned person. Four, a holder of scholarship, right? A scholar is a person who study a subject of great detail, especially at a university. But we also have autodidacts. I am an autodidact as well. Um, so my perspective. This is my perspective. My perspective of what a warrior scholar is. My meaning of a warrior scholar is someone who is well studied and waging war against mistruths, pseudoisms, and willing to stand on the battlefield against institutions and platforms that promote that. A warrior scholar is someone who's on a mission for the truth, for accurate and sound information. A warrior scholar is one who has discipline, good characters, morals, and willing to fight against those who uses information dangerously. So that is what a warrior scholar is from my perspective. I always want to give out some simple definitions and then what a warrior scholar is in my opinion. Give me 1 second to get this off the screen. All right, now. So uh you know let's get in, man, to the interview, man. The first question, bro, I always this everybody that always come on the platform as the warrior scholar. Peace, master word. Can please, peace, peace. I don't know if that's Ben or Sean, but peace, peace. Yep, spirits are definitely flying. Um, but this is a question I ask everybody that come on the platform, man. Um, since this is the Warrior Scholar Show, man. Um, Name a few of your warrior scholars, man, for the listening audience. And plus, I want to know, man, who are some of the people who you deem to be a warrior scholar?
Wow, it's so many. My experience is very different from many others that I come across. Um, Very few people have been raised in this culture, not only in terms of spiritually, but socially and politically. I was blessed to be raised um, with parents who were cultural nationalists as well as Pan African nationalists. So um, I have many warrior scholars who I've been influenced by. My two biggest probably are my father and my mother, who have both transitioned recently back in 2023, 9 months of one another. My mother in February 2023, and my father in November of 2023. Shoot, many warrior scholars who influenced me. My brother, my oldest brother, Sekou Osajifo, Baba Sekou Osajifo Olayinka, uh, uh, is huge on that list. My cousin, Mongoliso Toure, is very, very big on that list. So I had, people in my inner circle who I, saw and interacted with and dealt with every day, be big influences culturally, spiritually on my life. Outside of that, individuals like our uh, um, brother Minister Malcolm X, um, uh, Baba Khalid Abdul Muhammad, um, the Right Excellent Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, um, even individuals who are still amongst us, like Baba Nwalamu Burudi, recently transitioned Baba Kamal Kambon, Baba Ajay Okoto of Nation House, and co-author of the Sankofa movement. I can run them down the line, but I know we don't have that type of time. But yes, I have many different warrior scholars who have impacted my life. Like I said, I have a unique situation where I was born and raised in this all my life. So I was prepared and groomed and nurtured and developed to do this work that I'm doing in the community as far as African people are concerned.
Okay. Okay. All right, man. So, your name, Obi Wajumi. Well, it means a king. If I'm correct, a king who has come, right? And can you?
Obawajumi, yes,
Mhm.
it
And
means the
can you?
king has come.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And can you share how this name has influenced your journey and the leadership in various culturally and artistic spaces?
Well, my name came about because of the fact that I was raised in the Sheshe tradition, or what people know as Ifa. Some
Mm-hmm.
people, just call the Yoruba tradition, but
Mm-hmm.
I was born and raised in it. And so my name was divined upon. So it wasn't something that my mother and father came up with in an African name book. And I'm not dissing at all any of the individuals who've, chosen their name out of an African name book. But my name was consulted upon
Mm-hmm.
um, and divined
Mm-hmm.
amongst the Orisha
Mm-hmm.
and amongst, Olodumare,
Mm-hmm.
who was the name that is given or title given to Almighty God, the Mother, Father, creator of all things in existence. And, the Egun, the ancestors, the Egungun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So my name is divined upon. So my name was specially given to me as a title. So
Mm-hmm.
the Oba is not so much a name per se given to a king, it's a title given to a king. So my name or title that was given to me was that of Obawajumi, which means the king has come.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if you're given that by God and the greater celestial forces that exist in our universe, that you have to live up to that name. That name or that title can be bestowed upon a person,
Mm-hmm.
but that person must choose to live up to it or not. And I made the conscious choice, um, as you know, I was coming up, especially in 2004, which was a very transformative year for me in my life, to live up to being Obawajumi, which was, you know, the title or name that was given to me at birth by my mother and father, and carry myself as a king, and to recognize myself as a king, and through my ways and actions, and most importantly, leading through example, showing the world that I am a king. And they'll have no choice but to acknowledge me as a king.
Most definitely, and I love that because you know, that's a part of our traditions. Like, you know, I'm very keen on the rites of passages, and the first rites of passage is the naming rites of passage, right? And you know, you mentioned divine, you somebody divine, they seat or demare, right? Um, which gave you the name. This name was chosen for you, right? This is a process. This is a step. These are steps when it comes to African culture and African tradition, where the person name is selected. We have in our culture where a person may have 7 or 8 different names, but those names mean something, and they have to live up to those names that were selected by them. And I love that because you said you grew up in this culture. You know what I'm saying, as a young buck, and this name was chosen, and it's as I'm getting to know you, it surely I'm surely seeing that you're living up to the name that was selected by you and given to you. And I think we all should do that. We should go back to that same process of naming our children, because those names have a meaning and a purpose behind them to live out that purpose through the name, right? So that's something I think that's dope and very important. And mentioning your name, which is going to the next question, because I want to talk about, you know, a Sheshe for a minute, Sheshe Legba or Ifa, as you say, some people would refer to it as the Yoruba tradition. As a practitioner of a Sheshe, also known as Ifa, um, how has this spiritual system shaped your life and work? Could you describe a couple of key moments where the faith developed impact some of your decisions?
Well, Ifa is at the core of everything that I do. It shapes everything in my life. My political, social worldview, my value system, the way I think, the way I go about living out my everyday daily life. Ifa shapes all of that. Ifa is truly something of God's divine order, the divine order of Olodumare. And so it is very, very significant, and has shaped everything that I am, everything that I am going to become in the future. It is a system in terms of Ifa or Isheshe that is based on natural law. It is based on nature itself. The idea of the Orisha being the various different aspects of the one God, being Olodumare, all of the Orisha are various different aspects of that one God. So from one came many, but the many that were produced by the one also brought together manifest the one. And that is traditional African spirituality 101. You know, when a lot of people talk about the idea that those individuals who are into African spirituality or African spiritual cosmology, as I like to call it, believe in many gods. No, we bear witness and understand the one God, but we understand that, you know, the one God has many different aspects, and some traditions such as Islam, they talk about the various different attributes of God. And Islam, they refer to God as Allah. And that there are 99 different attributes,
as
or
well
99
as
different qualities of the one.
Yes,
But the 99 qualities together produce the one.
I mean, you see this in a lot of different cultures, and even when going to Kemet, I say that the people who practice Islam got that. When you look at the 75 names of Ra, it's the same when you look at it from an Islamic perspective, with Allah having many names, or 75 names. Also, you know what I'm saying? And these are, like you saying, are different variations of the one, different characteristics of the one. But I didn't mean to break you, but I you know, because when you said that, it made me think about the 75 names of Ra in Kemet.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the fact that I know a lot of Urugu, or the European, likes to, always, make the claim, and even have some of our brothers and sisters who are, brainwashed, make the claim that, people are very, polytheistic, who deal with African spiritual cosmology. No, we're not. The belief in many gods. No, we don't. We're dealing with the various different attributes and aspects, characteristics of that one God. And even in understanding the one God, we also understand and respect the fact that, not even just even respect the fact, but know the fact that we respect the masculine aspect of the one God, but we also respect the feminine. You can't have the masculine without the feminine, and the feminine without the masculine. They're one. So we understand that, Olodumare represents the mother father, of all in existence. And that when he sent Orunmila, from the Orun, from the heavens, Orunmila came to witness the manifestation of this world, of this planet that we call Earth. He was very instrumental in witnessing that. He was the witness. He was the eyewitness of all the things that were put into existence. But understood that Orunmila came from the oneness of Olodumare, the masculine and the feminine principle, which produces all things. So you can't you can't have the he without respecting the she. You can't have the she without respecting the he. And that's what most Western traditions and some Eastern traditions separated, and make no mention of the woman principle, or the feminine principle at all. Where African tradition understands that nothing would exist without both.
Yeah, duality. That's definitely a fact. It's definitely is exempt. The woman present is definitely exempt when it comes to a lot of the religions, and that's why I say, I'm not picking on any specific religion or anything Western religion, right? But those, I couldn't be a woman and follow those traditions, because some of them say that God is above man and man is above woman, right? Or it says that we have all fallen in sin because of a woman, right? You know what I'm saying? Or a woman is supposed to be quiet, right? So it's so much of a male chauvinistic thing of excluding the woman out of everything, and there wouldn't be nothing without the woman as well, because we understand that.
Here's the biggest one, Baba. Here's the biggest one. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I mean, the Father wouldn't have a son without the woman.
Yes.
And the Ankh, which is the key of life, represents man, woman, and child, the first and original Trinity that existed. Before there ever was a trinity that is spoken of in Christianity, that a man, a woman produced a child, and that, you know, the how this entire structure of the Ankh is made, showing the womb of a woman. You know what I mean? The penis or the phallus symbol of a man, and the two sides representing the child, either the African boy or the African girl, the ultimate trinity, which is family, which is the first institution that existed on this planet. So, you know, they the European and the Urugu was very, very strategic in totally eliminating the woman from the equation of creation itself.
Yeah, because if you look at it, don't no matter where you go, if you go to West Africa, if you go to East Africa, Central Africa, North Africa, you see when you look and study the cosmology stories, there's always a story with the masculine and the feminine principle in the cosmology story. You will never see that story with the woman being exempt out of it, and it's just a man thing. And in those different cosmology story, and when I'm saying cosmology, I'm talking about the creation story, how everything came in existence. Everybody has their own cosmology story, but those cosmology stories are is almost similar in a way, and when it always has the masculine and the feminine principle in those cosmology or those creation stories, right? And that's why I said I couldn't be a woman following some of those traditions because I'm excluded out of everything, just basically everything. And even, and some of them, they talk about, I don't want to go to heaven. I don't want to go, man. And you talk about all the men. Now, what are women that y'all ain't said nothing about the women up there in heaven. I don't want to be around a bunch of men all day. I don't want to go there. So they just exclude, the woman's role out of it. And that is a part of conditioning too in the religion, because I have seen people use that with my own eyes. I have seen personally. I was gonna mention it, but I'm not gonna mention who it is. But I have seen where a man has disrespected somebody I love dearly. I'll say this: disrespected a person who brought me into this world because what according to the book that he believed in, right? And he's saying this world is in this situation, and I'm in this situation because of you, because you was a woman. So he using the book because the book is teaching that a man is above the woman. God is above man, man is above the woman. We have fallen in sin because of the woman, and the story according to the biblical narrative that Eve went out and ate, was enticed by the devil and bitten the forbidden fruit. You know what I'm saying? And now she become a knowledgeable. She's aware. You know what I'm saying? Which is a flip to me, because now it's the flip with us. You know what I'm saying? We have bitten the forbidden fruit, and now we have been ostracized because now we are conscious and we are aware. But now the woman has been ostracized because she is aware of her surroundings and she knows what's going on. She's knowing. So in one essence, you tell me our people are being destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And then in another sense, you're telling us we have been destroyed because we have a sense of knowledge. We are aware of what's going. So it's a contradiction right there, in between the two. So they have completely destroyed the role of a woman, and we have seen it played out in real life. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have our young men and even older men disrespecting our women at an all-time high and not revering the woman, and even the woman now disrespecting herself because she don't understand her purpose and the value that she has, right?
It's funny, in talking about this, that I go back to one of my Jegnas, or African warrior scholars, as we were talking about earlier. That's Baba John Henry Clark, and he always said, we always in most traditions, they talk about the God being the man, but the God can't be anything without the goddess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a sense of balance and duality to the
Mm-hmm.
universe.
Right,
There
exactly.
is there is that scale, as we
Mm-hmm.
talk about in dealing with my art,
Uh-huh.
that you know, and understanding the balance between the masculine and the feminine.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if you don't have one with without the other, then that leads to, you know, imbalance, and
Yes,
which
it
can
don't.
lead to, you know, chaos, which can lead
Mm-hmm.
to you know, what we call in the African historical spiral cycle Ishfet. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
It's
Just complete chaos. So
mm-hmm.
there has to be a balance,
Mm-hmm.
a duality. You know what I mean? A scale in which things can be, you know, evenly weighted. And you know, so you can't have the masculine without the feminine. You can't have the God and not have the goddess.
Right. You know, one cannot exist without the other. You know, it forward cannot exist without backwards. Up cannot
Exactly.
exist without down. Left cannot exist without right.
Right,
Light cannot exist without dark. Right.
right,
One has
right.
to have the other. It has to have a complementary. So you know, I until people understand and realize that, man, well, people just don't understand that, man. That concept, man, and that ideal, man. Everything has to be balanced, right? Um, um, Man, at this African independence, while we're talking about Ma'at, right? The African Independence Day, Ma'at celebration has been a significant event since its inception. Can you discuss its evolution under your direction and the impact it aims to have on the community? You mentioned that you know that you was over the board organizing that thing, man. So can you explain what the African Independence Day of Ma'at celebration um, is?
Well, it's a very near and dear thing to me, and very uh very sensitive topic to discuss. First of all, I'm going to go back to its inception. African Independence Day was conceived in 2003, 2004. I was a member of another organization at the time that was based here in the city of Philadelphia, and where I live and still live presently, called the Nation of African People's Unity. And the Asian African People's Unity's purpose was very similar to the organization that I'm affiliated with now, um, which was to unify various different individuals collectively, regardless of land, labor, or title, religion, um, African people locally in the city of Philadelphia to collectively do work as a unified body. And one of the ways we wanted to get the word out about the organization, um, which was founded by my dear brother Ahmed Akil Tahir, who transitioned back in 2012 due to cancer. And he was owner of a business called the Pearl of Africa, Gates of Zion, which people were very familiar with for many years here in the city of Philadelphia as being one of the leading culture shops here in the city of Philadelphia for a long time. And I met him back when we were in college together. So his idea was to come up with an event or a community event that would spread the word about the organization and increase interest and membership in it. And many of us who sat around that table thought about ideas that we could have a community event and bring in various different local speakers who are activists doing things in the community, having cultural performances from various different musicians in different areas of music, hip hop, poetry, jazz, you know, just have a day where we would, you know, congregate and come together here in the city of Philadelphia. And, you know, so we came up with the idea for African Independence Day. And we added on the Mayat celebration in honor of Brother Ahmed's daughter, Mayat. So it took on a life of its own in the early years. And it was the festival just grew bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, the festival itself outlived the organization. Unfortunately, the organization fell apart, and we all kind of know why. Organizations, especially when it comes to us as African people, fall apart. You know, egos. You know, not seeing eye to eye ideologically. You know, a number of different things played a role in the reason why the organization fell apart. But the event itself outlived it, and we continue to do it from 2004 even to today. And when Ahmed had passed away in 2022, my dear brother, I, you know, I didn't know where it was going to go or how, you know, we were going to continue it. But you know, I did a lot of soul searching, a lot of meditating, a lot of, you know, thinking about, you know, continuing the event. And I got some encouragement from a number of people, a few people here in the city of Philadelphia, some elders, some you know, some of them my contemporaries and people that I had known for many, many years. And you know, so we didn't have it for 2 years. And then in 2015, you know, I said, you know, let's give it, you know, let's give it a go. Let's see if we can do this and everything. And what I learned was that all the years I had been around Brother Ahmed, that he was actually teaching me how to put this event on. And I learned so much from him, and I didn't really realize it. And many of the people that he brought in, whether they were speakers, whether they were performers or whatever, vendors, I got to know through him. So it was kind of easy to put this thing together, and I didn't even realize he was actually training me the entire time. And so so then I just, you know, decided to, you know, direct it and take it into the direction that Ahmed envisioned for African Independence Day, along with my brothers, brother Kamu Huru and brother Faru Ma'at, as well as my brother Sabor. You know, who I have a lot of love and respect for those brothers still to this day. You know, we, you know, continue to put that thing together, and it just grew. It got bigger and bigger and bigger and better and better and better. And we were just bringing in people who like from Irritated Genie to oh gosh, we had you know, Rock there. We've had United Front there. We've had Richard Raw there. We had our brothers, Precise Science, my brother Rough Mike Patah, and brother Heru. We've had all kinds of people come in. Sister Sonia Sanchez. We even had our dear brother M1 of Dead Prez. I mean, it just got big, you know what I mean? It was growing expansively and things of that nature. And the idea for it was to create an organization on a national scale, much like the one that I am affiliated and a part of now, to collectively do work amongst African people to change our condition, to no longer sit around and, you know, complain about, you know, our condition, because that's what we're good for doing right now. And it seems like we just want to complain about it. But when people come up with some ideas to do something about it, then, you know, everybody's like, oh, I don't know about that, you know, this, that, and the third. But weren't you just the one complaining about, you know, the conditions of our people and and things of that nature, and things are not improving and things of that, of that sort. So, but unfortunately, idealistically, and the vision that I had for it wasn't really what the vision that my partners had for it. And so I just gracefully bowed out, and I just said, well, I I I've taken it as far as I can take it, and I just need to go in another direction. And there were a lot of other things personally in my life that was happening. Uh, you know, uh, my mother was ill at the time, and so I really wanted to concentrate and focus on other things that were going on. At the time, I had just had a newborn son, my first child. So I really wanted to concentrate and focus on other things. And I think that what happened was supposed to have happened. The brothers, Brother Faru and Brother Kamua, they still put on the event, but I no longer have anything to do with it personally. And I honor my brother Ahmed's memory by continuing to do the work in the community as an activist, because he was an activist before he even started African Independence Day, before he even started the Nation of African People's Unity. He was always an activist who always believed or always valued the ideas and wanted to put himself at the forefront of the interests of African people. So that's what I did.
Okay. Oh man, you put in. I'm sorry to hear about that, man. I mean, but like you said, things
Mhm.
happen, and things happen for,
Exactly.
happen for a reason. And it's sad that a lot of times, we could have a lot of good things. Not saying that that's still not good, since you're not involved with it. But I mean, a lot of times when we have organizations and organization falls and certain things that we do for the community that starts to be repetitive every year that we doing, it deceased, or it's dwindled down and doesn't be as popular as it was, because you have certain key figures who separated, who didn't bump head. And that's why the infrastructure is so important. When when you're a part of these organizations and you're putting together these certain, it shouldn't be one or two or three individuals over a particular thing. You should have a board, and there should be a vote on it. Because I'm saying that because sometimes I may not agree with certain people that's a part of an organization that I am, but I it's I'm only one individual and a part of the organization or putting a certain event on. So it's not always about me. So it has to be put, and I think that's something that we all, a lot of we lack, is that infrastructure of a voting thing, because everybody should have a right and a say in certain things, but it should all be put on the floor and voted on. And I think some of those disputes be dealt with right there, because just because I may not agree with a certain thing, but if the
Mhm.
overall body agrees with it, then that's what we're going to roll with. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me. And that's where I think, and I'm not saying that's where what happened in your instance, but sometimes that's how it be, where people think it's all about them and they forget about, no, it's about us, it's about we,
Mhm.
and it's about for the people. So, a lot of times we don't have certain things set in place, and it happened where we start having these disputes and bumping heads, because this person want to do this person want to do that, this person want to go in this direction, this person want to go in that direction, and then it starts friction. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the confusion come in. And then at the end of the day, the people suffer at the end of the day. The people suffer at the end of the day because we couldn't resolve whatever issues we had, you know what I'm saying, because we didn't have certain things set in place where the breakdown of communication would take place and confusion would take place, where now we don't even have this at all, or it's not at the magnitude that it was. Some of the important people that people want to see is no longer involved in that thing. I didn't know you wasn't, I didn't know. I thought you were still
No,
involved in
no,
it.
no, and it's fine. I mean, I had a conversation recently, I think a week or two ago, with my brother Obafemi, and we were talking about the fact that events are great, they're necessary, Events, cultural events are necessary. Having festivals, cultural festivals for African people, displaying the best of our culture in the various different aspects and forms in which, you know, we express ourselves as African people is very, very important. Having people who are in the community, who are activists, who are leading the charge and on the forefront and on the front lines of our struggle in terms of us, you know, moving towards autonomy and sovereignty. That's important. But that is a part of the work. That is not the work. And I'm more about the work. I'm built to do the work. It's all great to celebrate being African, but doing the work of an African is on a totally different level. It requires a different amount of concentration, focus, energy. That's what I was built for. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you can have both, but I find that many of us don't want to do both. Either a lot of us are into the celebration and the entertainment part of our culture, and then there's some of us who are into the work aspect of where we need to be as African people. I'm into both. I can do. I'm a dual threat. I can do both. You know what I'm saying? It's like what they say a quarterback can do. You know what I mean? I'm a dual threat quarterback. You know what I mean? I can slice you. I can slice and dice your defense up with my arm, but I can also run. You know, I can also juke moves. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. So, you know, I believe in doing both. Having the cultural events and things of that nature to bring awareness about our culture, our great, rich and traditions in African culture, but I'm also about the work that must be done that facilitates our autonomy and sovereignty ultimately.
Yeah, man. And you know, and as you know, I was just talking to y'all about that, man. You know, it's a lot of people don't want to show up, man, until all the work is done. They just in the part of the celebration part of it. You know, they don't want to, you know, do any work. And you mentioned complaining. So and that's something that we have become masters at, and I say professional complainers. We have become professional complainers. All we want to do is complain, 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 and then when something has happened, we want to celebrate, celebrate, and celebrate. And you know, we'll talk a good game, but when it comes to the work is the most important part. You know what I'm saying? Celebration that comes at the end, but work must take place first. And a lot of us don't want to do the work. You know what I'm saying? And we want to do, and those type of people need to be quiet. It's no need of complaining. Now, if you came to me and you was complaining, I'll listen to what you say because I know you put in the work. Things failed, didn't go the way, but you put in the work. You tried, you put the effort in, you worked. So you got a legitimate gripe. You got a legitimate gripe. So your gripe is not gonna fall on deaf ears with me. But those who are professional complainers, I'm not gonna listen to you because I know you ain't did nothing. You ain't trying to do nothing. All you want to do is complain about the situation that you in, complain about the situation black people are in, but you are not trying to put the work in to change it. It's not gonna change until you put the work in. But soon as you tell a man, we got this, we finna rally. We finna be on the front line of this. Or we trying to put this together, or we trying to raise some money, or we trying to build this institution so it takes this, that, and the third. Man, they like like roaches, you turn the lights on, they go to scattering.
They part like the Red Sea.
Yeah, right. Soon as the nightlife come, or something going on, and as you got music and people dressing up, and fellowshipping and certain things that you like, we're gonna be there and engage in. You right there, Black Power and Black African Power and RBG to the death of me, and you there to celebrate and have a good time. But man, when it's time to do the work, bro, you know where to be found, or you don't have time. You don't have the time for the work, but you got time to celebrate, man. And those people, man, those people to me, man, are jokes. What Obafemi said, Obafemi says, we are a celebratory people, but we have to create, build, produce, and something to celebrate. Let's work. That's most definitely, man.
Gotcha.
You know, true. We gotta work, and until people understand that, we're gonna continue to be in a situation that we are in, because you have a
Once
selective
again,
few
it
of
comes
people.
back to that balance I spoke about earlier. You
Yes,
gotta
yes,
have that balance.
yes. You gotta
Nobody's
have that.
saying that we can't celebrate. As Obafemi said in that
Mhm,
statement, he said,
mhm.
we are celebratory people by
Yeah,
nature.
yes,
That's
most
who
definitely.
African people are.
Yes,
But
most
we
definitely.
also have to work to create the
Yes,
reality that we
yes,
want
yes,
and the
yes, yes,
reality that we need. You
yes.
got to put the work in.
You got to put the work in, man. And that just goes over so many people's head, man. It just goes over so many people's head, man. And until we all understand that, man, and unify, man, and put that work in, man, we gonna still
Nothing's
be
going to
where
change.
we at. Yeah, nothing is gonna change, man. You know, so and so I just advise everybody, man, stay away from the professional complainers, because we got too many of them, man. Um, you know, as I'm digging into, everybody's stuff. I'm up hours and hours and hours, trying to find as much information as possible on people that I interview. And sometimes, even when I know a person, like I've been following you for a while
Mhm.
on social media, but I never personally had a chance to talk to you until the team RBG interview a couple of weeks ago, and listening to you speak, right? And just every now and then looking at some of your posts and stuff like that, and saying, okay, I still didn't know a whole lot about you, and even after the show, I feel like I kind of knew some of you, but I still didn't know a whole lot about you. So the music aspect of, at one point I didn't know you was you did music, you did rap. I didn't even know. I just found this out that you was a poet. So my question, because I'm
And an MC.
huh, yeah, and
And
MC,
an
yeah,
MC.
no,
Very,
and
a
see,
very skilled MC.
oh, my
Yes,
so
very
my
skilled.
question, because I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know it. And I have a poet background, because before I started emceeing, rapping, and producing music back in the days and stuff. And I take a break, come back, take a break, come back. I started out as a poet first. So my question to you is, because this is a question for me. I want to know, and maybe some of the other people may want to know this, listening now or listen to this later on in the archives. Go back and listen to it in the archives, man. When you was doing your poetry, was it first? Were you doing poetry first before turning into an MC? And how did poetry influence your style? If so, how did poetry influence your style as an MC? And are there any recordings or writings from your earlier days that fans can access? And again, this question is specifically for me. It might other people may want to know now, but this is, as I'm digging into your background, I'm like, I want to listen to see what he was talking about back in the days. I want to listen, see them MC skills. I want to see what he was talking about. I want the poetry. I want to know, what was he saying, because you such to me, you such a very intellectual brother, right? You exemplify for me. That's why that title is so, you living up to that title. You know what I'm saying? It's you exemplify. You have leader qualities that I see. You know what I'm saying? Also, and it's easy to you. You're easy to listen to. So did you start it out with poetry before you was MCing first, or how
Yes,
did that
I
go?
actually did. I actually started out doing spoken word. I like to think of myself back in those days as, which weren't long ago at all. I like to think of myself as a child of the last poets, because my
Mm,
father, my father, Chief Obawajumi Owolafia Oláyínká, played the last poets in our home growing up. I'm one of 7 children. So my father played records of the Last Poets in our home. He played Gil Scott-Heron. He played the Watts Prophets. So I grew up inundated in that. That was some of my first introduction into hip hop, into rap. So being kind of blanketed in that, that definitely had an influence on my style. And so, you know, when hip hop came about and I'm sitting there, you know, calling myself in class in free time writing rhymes, or call myself trying to write rhymes or whatever. You know, I knew I had to do it to a beat and a rhythm. And so I developed and perfected my own style, which was a very monotone style, but at the same time on beat. And it worked for me. And so, you know, many of my poems or the poetry that I wrote and many of the rhymes that I wrote were, of course, based on my cultural upbringing, my political socio-ideology. Because, you know, I didn't live that life. You know what I'm saying? I knew brothers and sisters that I interacted with, that I went to school with, that lived that life, but I never participated in that life. One of two reasons. One was because in my conscious and subconscious, I knew it was wrong. But two, I had the reminder of my mother and father constantly that, you know, we didn't raise you in that, and that there was a price to be paid if I chose to go that route. So I never ventured into doing that because I had too much fear and respect for my mother and father. So in terms of the material and stuff like that, yes, there is material that does exist somewhere on the so-called World Wide Web, or yes, there is material out there. I've done, I've been in two groups. One group called Elements of Thought, that I was with in the 90s. Shout out to my brothers, Damon, Ramon, Eric, and you know, shout out to them, and my man Terry, of course. Yeah, shout out to them. And then I left that group and was doing, you know, some solo work. I worked with other artists, collab with other artists, other MCs, and even did some collaboration with some R&B artists out there as well. And then I got involved in another group called Law One. Law being an acronym for Lyrical Artistic Warriors #1. Shout out to my man Kaz, my brother Jerome, my brother Ahmed, who we talked about earlier, you know, and shout out to them. And I know I'm forgetting the other member of our group, but it'll come back to me. But it was the four of us in that group, and you know, we did work together for a few years and things of that nature. And there are you know, footage of shows and things that we had done together. You know, and I hope to have all of that music released one day. You know, so you know, when things slowed down and I didn't know what I wanted to do in terms of having a career as an MC or rapper or poet. I thought about maybe writing for other people, and then I said, nah, I don't want to do that. I just became a fan of an average fan of hip hop. Hip hop has been a natural marriage to me, much like the natural marriage of me being born and raised in the culture and in African, spiritual tradition and African culture, and being, politically and socially conscious in terms of, being a cultural nationalist and a Pan-Africanist. Hip hop is a natural marriage. I love hip hop. I love hip hop music. I love hip hop culture. It'll always be a part of me. And no matter how old I get, I can't leave hip hop alone. It is a huge part of who I am, a part of the whole cultural matrix of what makes Obawajumi Owolafia Oláyínká who he is. So, so I get a call back in the summer of 2021, 2022, by my brother, based in Florida, out of Tallahassee, my brother, Baba Kokai Sarah. And he tells me about this young brother that he is managing at the time, as well as, in business with, and is someone who is a member of his Egbe, brother by the name of Efundayo Adewale. And he tells me about this brother, and he says, look, with all that you have done in hip hop and everything that you've known, and, you came up in Philly, I came up in and around the legendary Roots crew, who are friends of mine, who I'm very, very happy for their success and all that they've done in the name of hip hop out of Philly. Definitely, love to them and the crew that they had, that, I was affiliated with many of the members of the crew, the Foreign Objects crew, and the various groups that made up the Foreign Objects. Shout out to them as well. And just being just being immersed in hip hop culture, understanding the business, understanding how, things worked. Me, my brothers, we just, hip hop is just a part of was a part of our home. It just was everything. So understanding the business, understanding, what it took to get artists out there. He said, would you consider managing or, being a consultant, an advocate for this, for my artists? And I said, look, bro, I have no desire to touch it. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to deal with that part of the business. But he said, just do me a favor, just listen to his project. And his first project was Frequency 3333. The end of
Hey, you go keep rolling, but I'm saying you must have knew where I was going next. That's that gone.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'll put it. You
Yeah.
going where I wanted
Yeah.
you to go.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And I said, okay, brother, I will. But you know how I am. And I'm very, 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 I'm a straight shooter. And all, and I got that from my mother, my father, my brothers, my sisters, even my extended family, cousins, aunts, uncles. We straight shooters in our family. If it's whack, it's whack. And I'm just gonna let you know. If it's hot, it's hot. And I'm gonna let you know that too. But trust me, you may not like how I come if excuse my language, if the shit is whack. So I listened to Stig's project, Sig Stigalo, and I listened to it about 4 to 5 times that day. When I first heard it, I was like, wow, he's got some things here. He's got some skill. And it's hard to place this artist. And then I listened to it again the next day, about 2 to 3 more times. And after the 8th time, the 9th time, I called my brother back in Tallahassee, and I said, bro, normally I wouldn't do this, but there's something about him. There's something about Stiggs. I just knew it. After like 7 to 8 times, I knew it. I said, he's special. He's got something. He's got something that very few, if any artist has. And I'm not just saying this just to say this. I have been around hip hop for a long time. But this young brother out of Rochester, New York, out of the Rock, he's got something. And I got to see what this is. And it just piqued my curiosity. And I said, yes, I will manage him. I will manage him. And I brought him under my management company, which he actually helped me name, called Front Office Management. And he calls me the front office. So, and he calls me the front office. And so I named my management company Front Office Management. Only have one client, and that's him. And but he is it's been a joy. It's been terrific to work with Stiggs. Stiggs and I not only have a professional relationship, but we have a personal relationship. He is my younger brother. And on top of that, he is also a practitioner of Isheshe. And it was meant to be. It was meant to be. It was meant to be. And to have Stiggs, go ahead and push and promote Frequency 3333, the antidote, and then to put him in the big time. And I mean putting him in touch with my brother Tutmos Sankara, who runs the RBG Music Festival down in Atlanta. And we hope that everybody comes through this year. It'll be in August of 2025. The date has not been given just yet, but to have him, send him to Atlanta back in 2022 to perform at the RBG Music Festival was really a highlight for him. It opened him up to so much, and it introduced the world to Stig Stigler. And now, he is, one of the artists in the RBG movement who's on the forefront. His future is only ever so bright. Introducing him to my brother Knowledge Born Allah of Do the Knowledge Radio. Stiggs was able to have his own morning show, Stig Sigalo in the morning. Although I thought that it was too early in the morning to be waking up Knowledge Born to do his show. But for the time that he had the show, it was awesome. He has a lot of energy. He is very intelligent. He's a wordsmith. He loves hip hop just as much as I do. We break down the science of hip hop. And just our relationship is like we can finish each other's sentences. We do argue, we do debate, because there's a lot of things we don't agree on. And we still debate on who's better between Jay-Z and Nas. He likes Jay, and I love Nas. And so, so we go at it with each other, but it's a wonderful relationship, business relationship, personal relationship. That's my brother. And I love him dearly. He knows that I get on him a lot when he gets a little lazy and he gets a little bit, sluggish with it. But you have to. That's what good managers do, because, we have goals. And I'm very goal-oriented people, goal-oriented people, or goal-oriented person. And we have to attain those goals. And so I stay on him and I put that fire up underneath that ass, because I know that, we got some things that we want to do, and we want to, revolutionize and change the game from so many different aspects. So, that's how I, came upon meeting Stiggs, and, and we have so much in common. Like I said, we're E5 practitioners. We practice Isheshe. We talk about things in Isheshe. We share information with each other, and also makes it as a special relationship and bond. So yeah.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. You just been blacktivated.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes, sir. Big figure.
yeah,
The one and
man,
only. The one
yeah,
true king.
yes, sir. I interviewed Stiggs um maybe about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I somebody put me on to one of his songs, and I just fell in love with his music at one
Yeah.
song, and I asked him for how can I get the CD? I want to go buy it, and
Mm-hmm.
he said he had took it all off the DSPs for a minute, and he told me he'll send it to me. So he
Mm-hmm.
sent me right before I interviewed him, and I listened to it. I got it. I and when I was real heavy every week doing a podcast every week, I will always play one of his songs on the podcast all the time, man. And I enjoy
Mm-hmm.
the interview I had with Stiggs. I'm gonna have to bring him back on here, man, and because
Mm-hmm.
it's been about two and a half
Mm-hmm.
years, man,
Mm-hmm.
since
And he's got
I
more. He's got new music coming. We just
yeah.
talked yesterday. Been on him for a minute, but but Stiggs is also self motivated. He wants to be good at his craft. Hip hop
Mm-hmm.
is his craft,
Yeah.
and he's very very serious about it. And we got new music coming. We got a new project coming called Stigmatic,
Mm-hmm.
after Illmatic.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mixtape, and it's fire. And
I can
he's
believe it.
tweaking it, and he's making adjustments to it, and it's about to be released soon. And then after that, we got an album coming, um, entitled Blacktivated, Blacktivated, and it's coming.
Man,
It's coming
yeah,
soon.
yeah.
That's his favorite. That's his favorite
You
motto.
just been
And so, you
blacktivated.
just been blacktivated. You know what I mean? Stick a little sticks. Stick a little
Yeah,
swag mode in the building.
yeah,
So
I
yeah,
can.
we got that coming as well, and
Mhm.
we're also working on a few other projects with other producers. One producer out West Coast who now moved out to the West Coast, brother by the name of Crisis. We're working on a project for him and doing some music for him. Crisis affiliated with the Justice League, and anybody who knows of the Justice
Okay,
League
yeah, I
knows
know
that
just a league.
they're
Mhm,
affiliated
mhm,
with Little Brother and
mhm,
um, Ninth Wonder. So
mhm.
yeah, so Crisis was affiliated with them, and he's doing a project, and so we're going to be on that as well. So we got a lot of things coming in addition to what we're working on in terms of Team RBG with the Black State of Emergency as well. So
Mhm.
we got a lot of stuff down the pike coming, and I'm just so happy and glad that we got a lot of good stuff coming. And so yeah.
Okay.
So stay tuned and keep your ears
I'm
peeled.
ready.
Okay.
I'm definitely ready. We had me and Steve, we kind of um talked a little while, man. And we ain't talked in a while. You know, we was kind of keeping in contact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Um well actually he done been on here twice because I ended up having Obafemi, Stig,
Mm-hmm.
Bomani,
Mm-hmm.
a group of people on here, and we was talking about music in general and what we
Mm-hmm.
can do as organized and as musicians, to further push our agenda for to get, to get our music out there and to monetize off of it and certain
Mm-hmm.
things like that. But and we was talking about he had the same idea, which shout out to Stig for that because the conversation we had, he's doing it. I've seen a few times with the children. My Ubuntu
Yes.
youth, I discussed that with him as well, and he was supposed to be helping me as well with that. Far as he couldn't be here personally, so he was gonna help out with the children virtually when I had him here
Right.
in my studio and stuff, and and he was, I said, well, because he was telling me about his. I said, damn, that's the same method. And I'm trying to go with the children and blase. So we chopped it up about certain ideals, and I told him if he need help, you know, just link up with me. I got you, and he told me vice versa. And I said, yeah, I'm definitely. And we was in discuss, and he went on with it in mind, and it's like I said, where I'm at, man, it's hard. I got it off the ground, but it's not where I want it to be at right now. But I'm gonna just keep pushing forward till I get it. So I seen Stead, working with the children out there a while back, man. He was posting. I seen a couple of posts, him with the children in the studio
Hmm.
and the
Yeah.
children and stuff out,
And
man.
he's
So
he's very passionate about that. His
mhm,
work with the children
mhm,
in Rochester,
mhm,
that after school program, and it's
mhm,
been very, very successful. It's getting bigger and bigger and better and better and better. I applaud and appreciate the work that he does, as well as another artist who I like to shout out from Garvey City, Wilmington, Delaware. My brother Ade Lumo, better known to those of us who are in the RBG hip hop world, is Richard Brawl, and the work that he's doing with the children in Wilmington.
mhm,
Both of those brothers are doing phenomenal work in terms of working with children and teaching them about lyrical structure,
mhm,
lyrical presentation,
mhm,
and things of that nature in terms of hip hop and
mhm,
rhyme, because a lot of these kids, a lot of these young people are interested in, becoming, rappers and,
mhm.
and MCs. And
Yeah.
so, Stiggs is very, very passionate about the work that he's doing with the children.
Right.
And he really loves it. And it's something that is good for him. It's something that's good for the community,
Mhm.
and it's good for these young people,
Yeah.
and they
Mhm,
feel like they can confide in Stiggs and talk to
mhm,
Stiggs about
mhm,
life in
mhm,
general. Same thing with
mhm,
my brother Richard Raw and stuff like that. So
mhm.
it's just good that we have brothers like that who are on the front line, who are about, the work of the liberation and sovereignty of African people, and at the same time really take out the time to work with our youth who are the future of this
Mhm.
thing. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What up, Rocco? Sulu, I see Rocco comment also in the
Shout
chat
out to
with
my
others.
brother Big Rocker.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get him. I have been trying to get
Yes,
Rocco
sir.
on, but I was trying to get Rocco and Musa. It was hard to get Musa with him. I'm gonna just have to get Rocco on here pretty soon, man. I'm gonna reach out to you pretty soon, Rocco, to have you on the show, man. If you're interested. But yeah, that's
Say
dope. What he,
Lafayette,
yeah. So that's
my
dope.
boy
What he
Boye.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother.
What Stig was doing because he's providing because that's what I was, intentionally doing and is still going to do is, you know, not only teaching the youth that, but giving them a skill set, teaching them about uh, a 8 chorus bar, 16 bar verse, how to arrange your vocals, how to mix music, how to record music, how to use Pro Tools, Studio Pro, just giving them that skill set,
Mhm.
So even with those who don't rap or sing, you still give them a skill set. Now they know, how to use an MPC, you know what I'm saying? How to use a MIDI keyboard, how to sync sounds, how to arrange notes, you know what I'm saying? How to read new notes, you know what I'm saying? How to play, play different keys, record, you know what I'm saying? Strip away vocals, mix vocals, master music. That's something that I don't do. That's something, a skill set that I hope, one day I'm able to get. I can mix music, but mastering is a whole another beast by itself, a whole nother job by itself. But just teaching them kids that skill set, and now they can take that skill set and show it to somebody, or even take that skill set and make some money. Now they're being positive instead of going out there and selling drugs or scamming somebody or robbing somebody. Now they develop a skill set through the music because we all come together through music anyway. We all relate to each other through music. So now you teach them that skill set. Now you're opening up the kids, like you say, for Stig. So now they confiding in him. And now Stig can give them, that big brother fatherly, advice and drop them jewels in there as well and teach them as that use the music as a way to really drop in what we need to know so they can become aware of who they are and how great their ancestors were and how we are as a people is still great and how we need to maneuver through this system, you know what I'm saying, how we can push ourselves forward. So that's dope, man. Like I said, I'm watching, you know, I'm watching. Um, Team RBG, you mentioned Team RBG. So in your role with Team RBG, what initiatives or programs have you found most effectively in encouraging people of African descent to connect with and take pride in their heritage? Because we know there's a lot of people who are ashamed to be an African, right? A lot of times when you call people an African, you basically cussing them completely out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, what initiatives or programs that you suggest or think, you know, that could help people connect more with their African descent, man, and take pride in their African heritage and their African lineage?
Well, I don't think that there's one particular the term that you used. You used one particular way or program in which to do it. I think that people have to want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be in you. It has to be in you. It has to be within your cultural matrix. It has to be within your spirit. You know, you have to want to
Mm-hmm.
be African. No one can make you something. You have to want to be that. And I think the best way in which to show people with such a young organization like Team RBG that is still developing and growing each and every day. And when I mean developing its own infrastructure for the people to be able to come into, is that you have to lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
The best way to lead is by example. You can talk all the talk, but if it's not consistent and seen in your ways and your actions, that's what children model. They don't model what you say, they model what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put what you do together with what it is that you say. And they're like, wow, it works. It's working for that person. So I strive to lead through example. That's why I'm not into titles. I, like my name, I only believe that or bear witness that only the Orisha, the ancestors, and Almighty God Olodumare give you a title. I don't believe in titles.
Mm-hmm.
I only believe that they're granted to you.
Mm-hmm.
I bear witness to the idea that you know, it is something that you have to exhibit on a daily basis. I have a 4-year-old son. He's the pride and joy of my life. My son means everything to me. And the time in which we're together and the time that I spend with my son, I strive to be a good example for him, to teach him lessons and values and ideas, and to teach the things that were taught to me by my mother and my father. you know but also I want him to model the example that is before him and his father, and how he conducts and carries himself, because that's what I had to do when I saw my parents. And then that's when I began to realize that what my parents were teaching me, the values and the ideas that my parents were teaching me, did coincide with their ways and actions. Were my parents perfect? No, none of us are, if you want to judge it or put it on a scale of what perfection is. But my parents were real, as they say, salt of the earth, uh, 2 feet on the ground, 10 toes down type people. They'll tell you like it is. I mean, they were both, they both were Ifa initiates and practitioners. My mother, a priestess, for 57 years. My father, a priest and a Babalawo for 57 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they were they were straight shooters. They gave it to you. They gave it to you real, and they gave it to you raw. And that's the type of parent I wanted to be. That's the type of behavior I wanted my son to model. The same behavior and same uh, things that my mother and father showed me through their ways and actions. And I think that's the best way to go about doing that. And one of the great things about Team RBG is that in our mission statement, we talk about that it is what we're doing is for the youth. We're doing for the youth. What we're doing for the youth is not only of the youth of today, but the youth of years to come, because we know we're not always going to be here. So we're talking about our after. We're talking about our children's children's children, setting the the template for them to go about carrying on the work that we've started. So our mission being centered around the 9 areas of human activity developed by, I like to give both credit, Mama Frances Cress Welsing and our dear brother, Baba, who just made transition the other day. Oh my gosh, I'm having a brain freeze. Baba Nelly Fuller. So that is really the basis and the core of why of what Team RBG's centers itself around the 9 areas of human activity, which are extremely important. And it's really, the focus is on the youth, on the young people. They're the future of this thing. I mean, shoot, how much longer can I do it? You know what I'm saying? I'm already in my 50s. I feel young, I feel strong. I work out 3-4 times a week. I eat right, I get proper rest, things of that nature. But my time will come. And so we have to prepare, our children and other youth to take this on. And when we're talking about youth, we're not just talking about babies. We're not talking about preemies or babies or young children. We're talking about children who are growing and developing, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. By the time they're 13, 14, 15, they will have been inundated in what it is that we as African people, them understanding that they are African and have accepted the fact for themselves that they're African, to do the work that is going to lead African people ultimately to being self-defining, self-determining, and ultimately autonomous and sovereign. And the best way you can do that right now is by your ways and your actions, being a living example of it. Because I mean, there's been plenty of people who've talked the talk, and when it came to walking the walk, it was completely contradictory and hypocritical of the things that they said. So it's really about the example and the tone that you set and how you live your life, because children are always modeling behavior and always watching what you do, not just listening to what you say, but watching what you do. And children teach us a lot about ourselves. Excuse me. They teach us a lot about who and what we are, and the things that we need to work on and develop. If we haven't worked on them and developed, children will remind us of that. So it really comes with just how you live your life on a daily basis. You're going to have bumps in the road. You're going to, make some mistakes. You're going to, not be successful with everything that you do, but it can't be continuous. You got to make some adjustments where adjustments need to be made. And I'm always a self-critic of myself, always evaluating and reevaluating who I am, why I'm here, where I need to go, what changes need to be made, and which will help me to get to where I want to go or need to go. So I'm always tweaking and trying to tinker with and develop myself, my higher mental, emotional, spiritual consciousness, my physical body and being, and let all of those things work in tandem with one another to reach a desired outcome or to reach a desired goal, which is ultimately being free. Free to be African, free to be who I am, free to talk and speak the way, I want to speak, to be able to practice my traditions and my culture. Yeah, those things have to be lived as well as spoken to, but more so lived for people to really understand that this is of um, very, 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 very big significance in the
Okay.
work that we're doing. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, man. Well, that includes, man, the interview, man. I want to appreciate you, man, for allowing me to interview or allowing me to have a discussion, with you, man. I wish you nothing but book success. I guess I'll be seeing you when I get the verdict. So yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
I'm elated, to work with you and work with
Amen.
work with the rest. I'm ready to go to work. For anybody, man, that you know um want to reach out to you for anything, man, can you give them your all your socials?
Yeah, I can do that. You can hit me up on Instagram at Oba the Native Son. Um, and you can hit me up on Facebook at Obawajumi Owolafia Oláyínká. Um, I will put that in the chat, my name. Just punch up my name and things of that nature, and I will, respond to you. In terms of reaching out and finding out more about Team RBG, uh, go to teamrbg.com. That's teamrbg.com. And if you have any inquiries, any questions, if you have anything that you would want to talk about with us, or if you have general interest in wanting to become a part of Team RBG, reach out to us at teamredblackgreen at gmail.com. That's teamredblackgreen at gmail.com. And I have to give a shameless plug. Go out and purchase your bowl of gumbo. Please purchase RBG gumbo, griots using music, breaking oppression, which is now available out now at teamrbg.com. We are selling it this month at the very low price of $20 to honor Black History Month. We're doing that to honor and recognize Black History Month, the significance of African people here in the Americas, at home, abroad, and throughout the diaspora. So please go out and get the hottest mixtape out for the low price of $20 at teamrbg.com. That's that RBG Gumbo, griots using music, breaking oppression. It is 30 tracks, 10 songs, and
Mm-hmm.
3 tapes, the red
Mm-hmm.
tape, the black tape, and the green
Mm-hmm.
tape. I'm so
Mm-hmm.
proud to be affiliated with it, to be behind the scenes and to see this idea come into fruition that came in, that actually came. I mean, it took us 2.5 months to put it out, and everybody was on board. And in the coming week, you'll be having a couple more guests on that were on the album, and I'm sure they're going to talk about their experience and being involved with a project that it's the first of its kind. It had never really been done on this level before in the RBG movement. And we're so proud of it. And I'm so proud to have worked with the brothers and sisters that are featured on the project. You know, like I said earlier, look out for Black State of Emergency, which will be coming out later on this year in 2025, which is in development right now. You know, we got a lot of things brewing. And that's just one of the aspects of Team RBG. You know, we got a lot of things going on as an organization. You know, if you're prepared, if you're qualified, if you've been vetted for, if you are really ready for this work, that is a commitment. And for some of us, for many of us, if you're serious about the work, it's a lifelong commitment. Please, you know, consider becoming a member of Team RBG. Once again, you can go to our official website, teamrbg.com, or you can go to and reach us by going to teamredblackgreen@gmail.com. That's teamredblackgreen@gmail.com.
Right, man. Y'all go out and get it. They say it's $20 now, man. You can't beat that, man. $20
for limited time now, for limited time, because we are going to raise that thing back up again. So get it now while it's hot, and while you know it's at the low price of $20. Go get it.
Three mixtapes for $20, y'all. 30 songs on the album, man. I've listened to it so many times, over and over and over.
I listen to it when I work out. I listen to it when I wake up in the morning. I listen to it before I go to bed. I listen to it anywhere and everywhere in my headphones where I go. It's that fire, man. It truly is. It's fire. It's fire.
Go check out that. Go to Kofi Piesie Written Compositions. I wrote a entire blog review on the album. So if you hadn't get it, go check it out.
Excellent review, by the way, Baba Kofi. It was excellent review.
Appreciate it, man. Y'all can see some of my favorite songs on the album. But now I need to go and add some more, man, because all of them is fire. All of them was fire, but I only wanted to put 4 from each mixtape on there, right? And
I'm very critical of music, especially hip hop. And if I can't go through every song without skipping one, and I gotta skip 3, 4, 5 songs, bro, I'm telling you, listen to Team RBG's RBG Gumbo, straight through,
fire. And it's like I said, and it's very like I place each. If you already read the blog, I placed all 3 mixtapes as a building, an institution building. So you're getting all of this information in these different mixtapes, which are buildings, right? So definitely go cop the Team RBG mixtape. Again, it's available right now. Go get it. That's how you go support. That's how they're able to continue to put out projects and able to do other things, because Team RBG is more than just music. It's music, and it has other doors inside of its building, right? So y'all be on the lookout. That again, appreciate y'all for tuning in to the Warrior Scholar Show. If you're not doing anything tomorrow at 5 o'clock, I'll be back with Rakeem Shabazz, who is the host and of Wise the Dome TV. And he also put out a mixtape, album, not a mixtape, but an album called Wise the Dome. I'll be interviewing him tomorrow. And then if you're not doing anything on Monday, I'll be interviewing Ifa Jai, which is another Team RBG member who is also a part of the Team RBG or the RBG Gumbo mixtape. I'll be interviewing her at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Monday. And then Saturday, I'll be interviewing Eleanor, aka Mental Sequence, who's also a member of RBG and also has a track on RBG Gumbo. And following behind her that Sunday, I'll be interviewing Queen Jacira, if I'm pronouncing her name right. She's also a member of Team RBG. She has a dope track on there as well. And then we'll be closing it out with my brother, Son the Great. His interview is on Monday at 6 p.m. Afterwards. So we got a phenomenal lineup for Warrior Scholar Show. I hope y'all appreciate it. Again, please like and share the show so we can get the show in the algorithm, and share the show with somebody you think that missed the show that might want to come back and listen to it later on in the archive.
And I also want to thank you for allowing me this opportunity. It's been a while since I've actually been online. Like I told you, I had a podcast show on Do the Knowledge Radio.
Right.
You know, called the War Report. So, you know, it's been a while since I've been online. You know, I'm really about doing the work, but thank you for reaching out and allowing for me to be on here and, you know, just sharing this time with you. I'm very gracious and, you know, just a lot of gratitude. I don't deal with humility because, you know, when you're humble, when a person's humble, you know, they put themselves in a position to be humiliated. So I don't use the word humble. I just have a lot of gratitude, and I am just very honored and blessed to be here and to be on this podcast. And please continue to support our brother Kofi Piesie and the Warrior Scholars podcast, as well as all the other things that brother Kofi is doing in the community. Good brother, and you know, just sincere and genuine, and you know, is doing his part and working towards the liberation and sovereignty of African people.
Yes, most definitely. So we out of here. I'll leave y'all with Stigalo. What's the name of the song again, Baba?
Oh, Cleanup Crew, which is one of the songs on which was one of the 30 tracks on the RBG Gumbo mixtape volume 1, Griots Using Music Breaking Oppression. Go out and get it right now. TeamRBG.com. A BB48. Race first, everybody.
And he did and I wrote it up in the review. He made the green mixtape. Him hosting the green mixtape with the other guy, he had me
hyped in. DJ Iron Man Chris Starks. Yep.
Yeah. Had me hyped the entire time. Like, he just so energetic, man. Just so energetic. But peace, man. We out of here, man. We gone.
BB48, race first. Black power. Yeah. And in the same school, we gon' grow our own food over me in the garden with the green. Lima bean, green bean, string beans, really gotta let them all saltine and sardine. Gasoline, burn it down, kerosene, cut them tough, build it up, propaganda for the scene. Then we grow through the live radio. Through the live sound, put this on the radio. I'ma keep it rich and raw, let your flag fly high, cause the year when he made it to the radio. We need more Eleanor on the radio.